Hey y'all, welcome back to part 2 where we're going to create our pom-poms. So you'll just need a piece of cardboard. Make sure that it's long enough or wide enough so that you're able to create 2 circles. Then you're going to find something, maybe a cup or a container of soap like me, where you'll be able to create your circle. Just make sure it's generally a nice size depending on how big or small you want your pom-pom. And find something around the house. It could be anything that you're able to create a full circle with. Now just trace around the circle with a marker or a pen. Okay, and then you're just going to create another circle right next to that one. Same thing, just trace around. Okay, now we have 2 circles. Now what you're going to get is a quarter. So you can find some type of quarter around the house or even like a bottle cap, because you're now going to trace a circle inside of this circle. Okay, and after you have both circles, you're just going to trace a line inside of the circle. Doesn't have to be perfect. This is just going to be where we're going to cut. Okay, now you're just going to take a pair of scissors and you're just going to cut around both circles. Okay, and once you have both circles cut out, you're just going to cut that line that you created. Just slit it, cut where that line is, and then you're going to cut around the circle on the inside. Okay, so just cut right around the circle on the inside. And you're going to do this for both of them. Okay, once you have both of the circles cut on the inside, this is what it should look like. Then you're just going to cut a little bit off of the corner. You have a donut, and you're just going to have what looks like a bitten donut. I'm going to cut just a little bit more so that that gap is a little bit more wide so that my yarn could go all the way through. Okay, don't go too crazy, y'all. Just make sure that you're cutting it so that your yarn is able to wrap around it easily. I'll show y'all what I did. There's one and there's the other, okay? And this is what mine ended up looking like. Just make sure yours looks similar to mine. Doesn't have to be exact. Now we're just going to align both of our cardboard donuts and take the first yarn that we want to use. Remember, I had 2. I'm actually going to use all 3 of the yarns, including that yarn that we originally used for our hat. But I'm taking the first multicolor weight 4 yarn, and I'm just going to loosely wrap it around my cardboard donuts. Make sure it's not too tight, y'all, because we are going to have to cut through both pieces of cardboard. So just make sure that you have a nice grip that's not too tight or not too loose as you're going around. And you're going to do this all the way around your cardboard donuts, and I'll meet y'all when I'm finished. Okay, and now we're at the end, so I'm just going to take and cut my yarn once I reach the end of where I want it to stop. Feel free to do more or less, just depending on how thick and full you want your pom-pom. Now I'm just going to take my second yarn, which is just a navy blue, slight bulky yarn. It's like a weight 5. And I'm going to do the same thing, y'all. I'm just going to take and wrap that around my donut with a nice grip, not too tight. And when it comes to like the hanging yarns that you start off with, you can just, as you go around, tuck it. But if not, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal, because once you start to cut the actual yarn into a tassel, it won't even matter, and you'll see what I mean. Okay, and last but not least, I'm just going to take that periwinkle yarn that we used for our hat, and I'm going to wrap that around my cardboard donut just a few times, not too many, just a few, so that I have some peaks of this color throughout my pom-pom. Feel free to do as much or as little as you want, depending on how full or thick you want your pom-pom. Okay, y'all, quick pause before we start to cut our pom-pom. Make sure that you're cutting a strand of yarn that will be long enough to tie around your pom-pom, okay? Rather be safe than sorry, so just make sure it's as long as you feel it needs to be. Okay, now you're just going to take your scissors, put them in between both pieces of cardboard, and cut straight through your yarn. Make sure, y'all, that you're holding on tightly to that yarn, though, so that it doesn't come undone or unravel. As you're cutting, just make sure you're holding on to it. Okay? And you're going to cut in between both pieces of cardboard while cutting all the strands of yarn until you reach the other end. Okay, and now we come into the end of all our strands, and this is what it should look like. Okay, y'all, make sure you're holding that baby tight. Now, y'all remember that piece of yarn that we cut, right? We're going to take that bad boy, make sure you're still holding on to your yarn, your pom-pom, but we're going to take that yarn and place it in between both pieces of our cardboard donut. So we're going to take the yarn and put it in the center. Okay, make sure that it's evened out though, because this is where you'll create your first knot and make your pom-pom stay sturdy and together. Okay, and once that yarn is in between both of those pieces of cardboard and it's all the way around your pom-pom, you're just going to tie your knot, making sure that the knot is going around the entire pom-pom. Make sure it doesn't get cut or stopped in between those pieces of cardboard, y'all. Make sure that it's tying around your pom-pom. Okay, and then we're going to make 2 more of these knots to make sure that everything is secure and that it won't come undone, and that when we attach it to our beanies, it's right, y'all. It's right. Okay, y'all, so then we're just going to take off our pieces of cardboard donut. Don't cut those ties that we used, y'all. I'm just going to take and evenly cut some of these strands of yarn so that everything is aligning around my pom-pom and that it looks good. It looks great. And then what you're going to do is just create one more pom-pom, and I'll meet you back, because then we'll have 2 and we'll be able to attach them to our hat. Okay, y'all, so now what I'm going to do is take another piece of yarn, the same length that I did for my other yarn that I used to tie it. And what you'll see me doing is just looking to see if I could find where the yarn was that I tied the first time, to see if I can go in the same direction. It's not a big deal if you can't find it. Just make sure that when you're tying this piece of yarn around, you're not pressing down too much on your pom-pom, eliminating those pieces of yarn, y'all, because we want our pom-poms to be big and fluffy and cute. So you're just going to take and tie that yarn around and make sure that it aligns with your very first tie that you did. So I'll show you what I mean in just a second. Okay, y'all, so sometimes it's better to see it than to just talk about it. But I just took that strand of yarn and I tied it around twice, so that way I could have 4 strands hanging from my pom-pom rather than 2. And this will just help with attaching the pom-pom to our hat. Okay, so now I'm going to take another piece of yarn and I'm going to do the same thing with the other pom-pom. All right, and I'll meet y'all back so that we can attach them to our hats. Okay, and this is what everything should look like. Now let's attach them to our beanie. Okay, y'all, so to ensure that your pom-poms are even, what I do is I just count by rows. So as you can see here, I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So I want my pom-pom to sit in between row 4 and row 5 as shown. Okay, so the best way to see how it's going to look is to do it. So I'm taking my tapestry needle and I'm just going to take one of those tails, just one of them, and I'm going to pull that baby through my tapestry needle like so. And I'm going to grab my beanie, and then I'm going to do my count again. So I'm at 5. I counted to my 5th row. And then I'm just going to insert it in between my 4th and 5th row, that very first tail. Okay, and if you pull it through the other side, you'll see how it looks. I'm just going to take my tapestry needle and do that again for another tail. Just going to pull that yarn right on through. Okay, and then I'm going to pick another section at the top of the head, and I'm just going to pull that yarn straight through the beanie. Okay, and I'm just going to do the same thing for the last 2 strands, y'all. Take that yarn, pull it through the tapestry needle, and find a spot that's spread out across the top of your beanie so that your pom-pom just sits nice and tightly on top of your head. All right, you're just going to do that for the last 2 strands. Pull that through. Okay, and I'm just going to pick another spot that's spread out and pull that right through. Okay, and as you can see, my pom-pom is like, it's not, you know, if I shake my head, it's not really going anywhere. It's nice and tight. And I'll do that again with the last and final strand. Okay, and then what you're going to do is flip your head inside out so that you're able to see all of your tails. And then test your pom-pom, make sure it's nice and sturdy. If it isn't, you might just want to spread out those tails throughout the top of the hat so that it lays nice and tight. But once you have that, we're just going to tie everything together, y'all. So before I tie it, I'll just take my tapestry needle and I'm going to put the first 2 strands through there. A little struggle, but just get the first 2 strands through. Okay, and for that last one, I'm going to take and create a knot. So I'm going to weave it through the beanie, and then I'm going to pull it through that loop to create a knot. Came out kind of crazy, but as long as you have a knot there, because we're going to do another knot anyway. But once I have that, I have it secure, and then I'm going to take both strands and I'm going to tie another knot on top of that. Okay, and apparently I did another knot, very secure. Okay, y'all, so then I'll just weave in those tails once I'm all finished. But I'm going to take those other 2 tails and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take my tapestry needle, put it through, go through a few of those loops within the hat, and then create a few knots. Okay, so we got 1 down. And we got 1 more to go, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and do our other pom-pom. And I will meet y'all back here once I'm finished. And there we have it, y'all. I attached my other pom-pom, and this is what it looks like. We have our 2 pom-pom or 2 palm freestyle beanie. It's warm, it's cute, it's fun, perfect for winter. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Thank y'all so much for watching and liking and commenting and subscribing. I appreciate y'all. I'm so grateful for y'all, and I can't wait for the next one. I'll see y'all soon. Mwah. Love y'all. Thank you.